Sonic-inspired platformers have been around for years, with some even outshining the Sonic series itself. When speed platforming games are brought up, most people will talk about Freedom Planet or the much anticipated Rolling Rascal. But there's one game franchise I don't hear enough about: Spark the Electric Jester. Spark the Electric Jester debuted on April 10th, 2017, published by Fepard Games, who was owned and managed by Felipe Ribeiro de Nules. Apologies if I butchered your name. Felipe started in the Sonic modding scene by releasing Sonic before the sequel and after the sequel, both incredible games from beginning to end, which I highly recommend playing. With the success and praise of these two fan games, there was no surprise that Felipe would want to move on to bigger projects. And soon, the world was introduced to the Spark series, and today, I'm going to talk about Spark 1. Spark 1 starts off with a monologue from Spark himself. After getting the player's attention, Spark explains his backstory before the events of the game. During his time gaining his electrical engineering degree, Spark creates his iconic Jester hat, which allows him to create electricity through his hands, which explains how he attacks in the game. He eventually loses his job due to robots and AI replacing everything, but he then finds a job at a circus. But of course he's replaced by a robot, one that looks identical to him. One that can perform more dangerous activities and is less liable for a lawsuit. After this yap sesh, Spark notices that the robots are going rampant in the street and drops down to investigate. Level 1 takes Spark through Flower Mountain City, a vibrant blue mountain filled with, well, flowers. A pretty basic level to teach the player the fundamentals. Spark can move left, right, jump, and he can attack as well. Spark has two main gimmicks. The first is the ability to dash, which allows him to gain a little bit of speed, allowing him to climb up hills, but it also allows him to dodge attacks and build his special attack meter. The second is his ability to change powers, or Jester powers as the game calls it. Spark can find these throughout the levels and will change his abilities, such as giving him several jumps or how he attacks, as well as his appearance. Spark will encounter a mini-boss in the middle of the level, which I fucking obliterate, and another one at the end of the level. After the boss, Spark is footstooled by the robot that replaced him. Spark calls him a faker, and some back and forth dialogue happens, and then Spark takes off after the doppelganger. Stage 2 takes us in the Flower Mountain Valley, a continuation of the first stage but with some more hills and this cool foggy background. We see advertisements everywhere to buy fans to help with pollution, and at the end of the stage it features another mini-boss, which is going to be a common trope in all of these stages. This time I take this mini-boss on with the night power-up, and soon you'll see more power-ups as I play this game. Stage 3, Network Coast, is a more speed-styled stage of loops, big ramps, and a beach aesthetic that slowly turns into pirates, probably one of the better stages in the game. This boss at the end of the level gets bombarded by the pirate ship in the background, which is a really cool set piece. Unfortunately, this level leads into the sewers. Stage 4 is actually a pretty fun water level, believe it or not, but Spark tries to navigate the sewers trying to reach the city above. The boss at the end has a really flashy attack and ends up being really fun. Stage 5, Smog City. This level, if not the best, is one of the best levels in the entire game. It introduces these blue walls and obstacles with the words "Get Dashy," and when you dash, it gives you a massive speed boost. The massive speed, the rolling streets of the city, and the music. Oh god, the music. I'll talk about it later, but just take a quick listen. Near the end, Spark runs into two robots and notes that these ones can talk. One pretends to take Spark's wallet and dashes, which is funny because Spark doesn't wear clothes, or even has a wallet. but is found out here by Mr. Green that the robots have a plan for world domination, and of course Spark doesn't like that, so he kicks ass. Editing Cody here, I forgot to include this cool chase sequence that I found really fun, as well as these funny green guys that stab you. They're green mobsters. They're like lizard mobsters, but robots, I guess? Continuing through the city, we go through Stage 6, Sunset Heights. No, not that one. This one is just so beautiful. Spark eventually climbs his way to the top of the tallest skyscraper, confronting the Faker. Spark comments on how this is not right, but then something weird happens. The robot actually tells Spark that this is none of his concern and to go home. Of course, being the persistent one Spark is, he doesn't back down, leading to a fight against this beast of a robot. Spark then hops on a ship and rides off following the mysterious doppelganger. He then decides to give him a name, Fark, a mix between Faker and Spark. Spark is then shot out of the sky. Stage 7, Victoria Bay, is quite similar to Sonic Mania's Studiopolis zone, with the ramps, runways that look like cables, and the flashiness of the stage. Though I would compare it more to a theme park, as that's what it's designed after, especially in the second act looking more like a toy box. The boss at the end of the stage is cool though. Spark runs into the roped robot who talks about nanomachines, son, and then apologizes for taking Spark's wallet. Spark then says he's gonna hit him, and the fight begins. But the fight is a great show of the robed figure's trickery and illusion technology. Oh, hello. Haha. Well, hey man, are you okay? I'm sorry. Damn, I guess I killed him. Stage 8 is Carena Forest, which seems like a normal forest at first until you notice the tree trunks are made of metal and there's robot bees. Wait, whose idea of robot bees? Like, what purpose do they serve? More backup to fight the wall of flesh? Anyway, about halfway through this level we fight an archer. The only one of its kind, actually. But after a quick battle, we go further into the forest, which soon becomes a factory. There's something about games turning nature into cold machines for storytelling, and I love it. I absolutely die for it every time. At the top of the factory, we run into the endoskeleton of the robed robot, and oh no, oh. Hey dude, I'm sorry. Dude, we're chill. Come on, we're chill. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, so I just have less room to work with now. Let's chill. Spark crash lands into the desert and yaps once again before the Archer appears. The Archer gives us some more background lore of life before the robot takeover and about the rogue figure. Spark then questions the gender of robots before we move on to stage 9. Mare Desert is all about speed and hot sand. Like, the stage gets really hot in part 2. I mean, it just goes from white to orange. Spark gets the board power up in this level, which allows him to keep most of his speed while going uphill, but it also allows him to cover great distance with the board attack. I mean, look at this. It's actually quite fun. What are you doing here? The second part of the level shows Spark breaking into a military base that eventually leads him to an elevator shaft to talk to a friendly robot. The robot mentions the building of Megarath, a giant machine meant to produce high-tier robots, and according to Spark, Megarath has been built for years and he believes to be the reason for the robot invasion. In disbelief, the robot challenges Spark to a duel to prove that Spark is telling the truth. The battle goes as follows. This powerful robot knows us as the Jester and tells us to enjoy our last moments of life. It'll be all over soon, and takes off. Stage 10, Luna Base, is quiet, desolate. It's a level with no enemies and only platforming as this beautiful piece of music plays over. This level has these cool anti-gravity columns that will give Spark anti-gravity for a few seconds, and allows him to jump super high and far. Spark makes his way through the magma-filled base and climbs higher back up to the surface where he reaches stage 11. Caria Valley is another incredible stage, not only visually with a nice mix of greens, yellows, and pinks, but you bounce on mushrooms and run up and down hills, and the music, oh what another banger. Man, let me tell you, they cooked with this soundtrack. It is absolutely fantastic. We see tons of Japanese-styled houses, more advertisements, and the mini-boss at this stage is a giant spiky ball that rolls around in the lava. The second part of the stage, we're running through Caria City trying to board a train, and once we get on the train, we encounter the boss of this level. While he has some cool gimmicks and flashy attacks, like when he goes into his second phase, but let me tell you, I didn't take a point of damage. He was really easy. Stage 12 is Turbulence Plains, quite similar to Mare Desert level design wise, and there's this weird flower light bulb boss at the end. And a furry. Nothing much else to say. Stage 13, Renal Complex. It's just okay. It's like Chemical Plant from Sonic 2, but 90% more tubes, and there's this wind and fan that blows you around everywhere. It makes it really hard to navigate. The beginning of this stage's song reminds me of another song. I can't quite put my finger on it.
18 naked cowboys.
The only cool thing is the boss at the end of this level, which tells Spark more about the robot we fought in Carrier Valley, and how he was made to be a walking advertisement for the beam sword. Kinda sad, actually. He also tells us once we beat him to go through the forest and climb a tower. There'll be a surprise waiting for us. I think this is interesting, as it shows not all robots truly want world domination or to even harm Spark, and some even want to help him. Though we still end up having to fight him, and Spark defeats the hammer, and he flies away. Stage 14, Sunfire Forest, introduces another speed gimmick. This blue flame gives Spark a major acceleration boost and makes him damage enemies upon touching them. Ooh. This stage is full of bumpers and things that push and bounce Spark around, kinda like Casino Night Zone. The top of the tower has a boss rush which cucks me twice, once by my game crashing and the second by me losing my power up. At the top of the tower we fight- it's him again! In a new body! He says our fight was fun and introduces himself as Romello. Romello explains that he was infected with a virus and that's why all the robots are taking action. When he got his new body, he didn't have the virus anymore, but still kept the same consciousness. He takes us to speak with the doctor, and in the doctor's lab, we see all the friendly robots we met along the way. Dr. Armstrong comes on the screen and explains the situation. After Megaraph was built, Armstrong and some others created a robot to protect and defend the tower. However, they made this robot too independent and it backfired on humanity. The robot's name is Freon, the same robot we ran into at Luna Base. Armstrong officially hires us as everything we've been doing is illegal and needs legal justification. Spark is more than thrilled to have a job. Romello and Spark team up and make a plan to take down Freon's airships and then to confront him at the tower. Dr. Armstrong warns Spark of a looming threat, one meant to backstab Freon when he least expected it. Spark. We learn a lot of exposition here. There is a virus that led to robot takeover, which originated from Freon. Freon's goal is unknown, but we do know that he was created to be the guardian of Megaraph, and he was created by Megaraph itself. Freon's design to work without humans led it to an ideology that led to world domination, but we don't know its true goals still. There are people out there fighting back, such as Spark, the world government, rogue robots that aren't infected, and Dr. Armstrong, who was trying to repair infected robots. We also learn that Fark was created in order to be close enough to Freon to betray him. We also learn that Fark was created in order to be close enough to Freon to betray him, but we're still unsure why he was modeled after Spark. This leads us into Stage 15. Megaraph Fleet is one of the most intense levels in the game. There's slopes and fans to speed you up, but it also requires precise platforming and for you to take your time. The game also throws a ton of enemies at you at once. The Night Jester power was my pick for this level, as the special meter gives you a one-hit shield, and you can perform a giant dash that gains speed and deals damage. Spark takes out the first ship by destroying the commander, and then making a run for it before the ship explodes. The second ship Spark runs through introduces these nuke hazards which shake the screen and have a slow but crowing explosion. Spark fights a commanding computer which is similar to a mini-boss in Stage 7. Destroying the computer also destroys the airship, leading us to the last one. Spark must destroy 2 destroyer cannons. And now I understand why Freon is such a threat. I mean, this is practically a Star Destroyer. As well as the entire time this level, we get this bone-chilling chorus on this incredible theme. Spark gets to the end of the final ship where he encounters Fark, who yells at him for not stopping when he told him to. Fark says he has one mission and will not fail. This is one of the craziest and fastest fights. I mean, the speed is just insane. Also, while playing the second verse of the main theme, oh, it is gold. Fark then grabs this mysterious staff and goes super? He's literally glowing gold. Spark and Fark fight while falling to the ground until Spark gets the final blow, striking Fark down. As we land in the forest, we hear the sirens and cries of Megarath as we approach the huge structure, and Spark heads inside. The final level, Megarath Fortress, is so fun. It's high speed, all action, with so many enemies and different routes to take. And this stage is no joke. It constantly throws tough enemies at you, has lasers everywhere, there's this weird mini-boss in the middle. It's just so fun overall. There's this gimmick similar to Sonic 3's Death Egg, where you stand on a platform and get zipped around the stage. Part 2 takes us through these speedy tunnels and introduces more chaos with these blue rings that spin really fast. It all just requires precise timing and just, you gotta stay on your toes. It's such a good level. I mean, the theme of this level is so good. It's more electronic than the other themes in the game. It really helps with the atmosphere as well as the stage just looking really cool with the red and black. Spark reaches the top of the tower confronting Freon sitting on his gross wire tentacle throne. Ew. Also, this guy has Shadow shoes on. Like, it's just straight out of Shadow the Hedgehog's wardrobe. You cannot make this up. Freon jokes about not requesting a Jester and then asks what Spark's plans were when he decided to head towards death. But it doesn't matter. As with Freon's power, he plans to lift the entire fortress into space and crash it through the orbital ring that keeps the planet alive, destroying all life in the process. Freon states, "And at this moment, in front of my eyes, all I see is a pathetic Jester." The final boss starts with a chase sequence as Spark has to run away from Freon's attacks. Once we're at the top, we fight Phase 1. Freon's mech jumps around trying to kick and slash at us. Phase 2, Freon fights us directly with lightning-fast kicks, lasers, and power attacks. You have to think quick on your toes, and it's just, oh, it's such a good fight. And the theme, oh my god, I love the music in this game. Freon then transforms and grabs Spark by the throat. On the ground, we see Fark running through the forest, watching the fortress rise into the air. He grabs the staff and launches it towards Spark. Getting the staff, Spark, still alive, turns super. This time, it's Spark's turn to chase Freon. A climb of the tower takes place as the fortress goes higher and higher into space. Spark reaches the top of the tower and finally confronts Freon, and Phase 3 begins. God, what a fight Freon is. His final form is just so flashy with these big bang attacks, and the scenery just makes this fight incredible. I mean, we're in space! The music makes it one of the best fights and just a super memorable final boss. Spark strikes Freon down, and to make sure he's gone, he unleashes one final blast against him. As the credits roll, we see all the people stare into the sky. Even Fark watches the Jester return back to the planet. And at the end, we see Spark leaving the staff in the ground, walking home to claim his paycheck. Spark's main story was incredible to say the least. Each level had changing themes and incredible world design, and out of the main 3 games, I believe this one has the best levels and atmosphere, colors, and just variety overall. Each new gimmick introduced played a heavy role in each level and always makes it fun to learn how to traverse a level and find its fastest route. Every Jester power-up makes for a fun combat system even if it is in 2D, but it also led me to experiment and find out which ones I like best. And as I stated earlier, the music. Oh, the music is so good. Spark's main soundtrack is composed by these 6 people, and each and every one of them did a fantastic job. Here's some of my favorite tracks. Now, while Spark's main story may be over, the game still has a lot more to offer. Starting with Fark's story, this takes place in an alternate timeline where Freedom comes back after Spark destroys him. This has you play as Spark through reimagined levels with a different combat system. Spark isn't able to dodge attacks or have Jester powers, but he can parry and block. He is also a lot faster and more snappy than Spark, but he does have less health. Spark also has to fight demons with a song that has lyrics? Holy peak, just listen.
I get the feeling something is burning up inside. I hear a heavy door slam and cover all my doubt with pride. Keep the demons dormant, sealed up tight just like my fate. Until there's nothing left for them to take.
The other content is great as well. Spark's Challenge takes place where they made a VR game of Spark's adventure. In this game, as you play as Spark through Fark's story, but with 2 hit points, which is a great challenge that took me way too long to beat because of the increased difficulty Fark's story brings. There's also these little challenge modes that have different levels with challenges in them, such as the floor is lava, not being able to attack, or even searching for Romello plushies. It's quite fun. The game does offer a wishes mode for beating Spark's story, which lets you choose any power when activated, and of course, there's time trials. Spark the Electric Jester was an incredible game from start to finish, and if you want a 2D platformer, I highly recommend this one, especially if you want a speedy one. And I mean, it's not expensive at all. I'm not sponsored by Peppered Games, but this game on Steam is $7.99 USD and it goes on sale all the time. overall, I would give this game a 9 out of 10, and who knows, maybe if you guys like this kind of video, I'll cover the other 2 games which transition into 3D and are such a blast as well. Please consider subscribing and like the video as it really helps me out, and remember, eat toast or something.